Foreclose? Can they condemn the entire neighborhood? Is this all one big scheme?
Our HOA is trying to say that it's the homeowners who didn't pay. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Hey to everybody out there who realize that nobody's coming to save them. That makes you a real one, and you're welcome to the Common Sense Show. Today we're talking about HOAs, and we're talking about you could be current on your mortgage, no missed loan payments, you have a deed in your name, and your HOA can still take your house? That's crazy. The numbers on this are wild though, and I need you to actually hear them before we start listening into these stories. Between 2022 and 2025, HOA-related foreclosures jumped nearly 50%. That's right, 50%. And according to data from a recent study, HOA liens total nearly 285,000 across the country. And that's almost 10% from the year before. And I know what you're thinking. What states are leading the charge? Which HOAs and what states so I can perhaps avoid them? Well, Florida, Texas, and California are all leading the charge in those three states when it comes to HOAs putting liens on people's homes and leading the charge with HOA foreclosures. And it's the states that actually have the most HOAs as well. It's not a hypothetical. This is actually happening right now to real people across the country. And you're going to stay tuned to the end of this video, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why it's legal. Let's get into it.
Hey, I got a question, and maybe y'all will know better than me because I do not know. We recently got a letter from the HOA in our neighborhood. UOA, actually. It's the United Owner Association. It's not the HOA. Same thing. It's for condos and townhouses, right? And they came around and put a letter on everyone's door saying that nobody has been paying the UOA fee over here for basically the past 10 plus years. And due to
Nobody's paid their fee in 10 years? Good Lord.
The people paying over here, they're basically about to foreclose on everything. And in the letter, it said that the UOA fee is used for the utilities over here. I wish I could show y'all around, but I don't want to expose where I live. The roads haven't been paved. There's trash everywhere. The place is just going downhill over here, okay? Within the past 2 years, they've been moving a certain demographic from one side of the town to the other, to put it lightly, because we got a casino, and it's been going downhill over here. So the UOA letter said basically, due to no one paying their UOA fees for the past 10 years, they don't have any money to cover maintenance, insurance, or anything. So they've canceled the insurance for the entire place over here. And they said due to this, they can't pay the utilities over here. They're almost out of money. And once they're unable to pay the utilities, the whole place is going to be listed as inhabitable and up to be condemned by the city. And basically, the townhouse that we are in now was inherited from his father, and his father passed away 3 years ago from cancer, and his father and his stepmom names are on this place, but that man is dead. And I don't know, y'all. I'm just confused. Can they foreclose? Can they condemn the entire neighborhood? Is this all one big scheme to get like a certain demographic out so they can buy it out, fix it up, and then make it $1,000+ to rent?
A couple of things here. The first thing is you can't complain that they haven't fixed the roads. There's a bunch of trash, all this other stuff, and you haven't paid your fees that literally go towards paying all those things. There are two things it seems like at play with this particular example. The first one is that the people who are actually on the UOA in this case are actually idiots, because who goes 10 years without trying to collect the money so that they can keep the roads up, keep the sidewalks up, ensure that the place is clean, ensure that it's habitable for people to live in. So it seems like a combination of management and incompetent residents, because the residents should be demanding. The whole point of the HOA is that people collectively have demanded a standard for the place that they want to live. So why even the residents allow them to not do their job and maintain the place is beyond me. You're telling me that there hasn't been one meeting of all the owners in that 10-year period and this issue has not been brought up? I find that hard to believe.
Look, I'm not saying that all HOAs are bad, but I just saw a home at today's auction get foreclosed on for $7,000. And before you say, oh, that could never happen to me, it can, and it does. And it literally happened today to a family. So here's what happened. The homeowner fell behind on their HOA dues. This is not their mortgage. This is not the taxes. It's the HOA dues. Of course, it started adding up after a few months. Then they added fees to that. And so the HOA puts a lien on the property. And they can, like in this case, push it all the way into a foreclosure. And in this case, over $7,000. Most homeowners don't realize how much power homeowners associations or HOAs have. In some certain communities, they can have covenants in place that could allow them to put a lien on the property and push it into a sale, even if you're up to date on your mortgage. So here's the lesson. Do not ignore your HOA letters. If you get one in the mail, open it, read it, take action. Don't just toss them in your junk drawer or in the trash. Get to them. If you cannot make your payments for whatever reason, life happens. If you cannot make your payments, get to them before they make a phone call to an attorney that's going to foreclose on your home.
Solid advice. I buy it. HOAs can absolutely do that. It's how I started this video. And at the conclusion of this video, I'm going to break down to you exactly how it's possible that they do that. But until then, let's hear the next story.
My HOA is foreclosing on everybody's house. So if you guys remember last year, I came to tell you guys that my HOA was threatening to put a lien on my home and start the foreclosure process over a $22,000 assessment that I refused to pay. My
$22,000 assessment? Wow. Okay.
HOA had been wanting to do some construction on all of the homes, and this was something that was well underway before I purchased my home. I ended up finding out through meeting minutes and talking with neighbors that not only was this something that was planned as far back as 2022, but neighbors who purchased their home around the same time as me did get a disclosure that there was a siding project that was slowly approaching. I am allegedly one of two people who did not get that notice according to the HOA, and so my HOA said that I could pay them the money back on a monthly basis for the next 5 to 10 years. I declined. I don't think that I should have to pay you anything for this. So I knew, I've been getting a lot of letters. I've been working through this, but I knew that they were trying to come after me, put a lien on my home, etc. However, a new person came knocking at the door. It was the construction company. The construction company is now saying that the HOA, my HOA board, has not paid them. They've not received all of their money, and the houses have been done for months. I'm saying for months. Apparently, they didn't get all their money. And so now they're putting a lien on the homes, which that process, I think, has been done today. And our property management company and the HOA is trying to say that it's because of the homeowners who haven't paid. I don't believe that. I know that when the HOA was accepting bids and what they were looking for a company that could give them a $3,000 advance that, of course, they would pay back.
She said 300,000 in the caption there. There's a few things here that we should talk about. The first one is that if it's the construction company putting a lien and not the HOA putting a lien, which there's a couple of liens it seems like is going on here, and there might be 2 liens on here. So in construction, you can do what's called a mechanic's lien on a home if the homeowner doesn't pay you for services that were rendered. You get your yard re-landscaped by a landscaper. You have a drywall and paint company come out and repair water damage. You have a plumber come and do work in your house, and you don't make that payment, they can put a lien on your home. So they get paid when your house sells. But also, the assessment is also part of the HOA fees. Therefore, the HOA can force the sale of your home to pay the contractor as well, because they would have lien rights as well. Here's the thing. She bought this condo. In the process of her buying this condo, she says that she knew about the assessment, but she decided to buy it anyway. If the realtor told her about the assessment that was coming up, then the realtor is in the clear. If the realtor did not, then the realtor is not in the clear. If she went ahead and just assumed that the assessment wouldn't apply to her because she was just buying the home and she's new, then that's a whole horse of another color. Let's let her continue.
However, they never really told us what that advance would be for, why they needed it, etc. It didn't make sense to us. However, they ended up choosing a company that would be able to give them that, which of course they have to pay back. The amount that the construction company says the HOA still owes is $272,000. That sounds like the $300,000 that you guys, I know I'm mixed in there, a little 20 grand in there, right? But that, for the most part, sounds like the $300,000 that they gave you an advance on. And our HOA is trying to say that it's the homeowners who didn't pay. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't matter if you're 10% of that, which roughly she is, or not. The bottom line to me is that money is owed. That contractor is going to sue everybody, I'm sure, because $279,000 or even if it's $300,000 is too much money for them to pass up. And I'm sure they've had to take other steps. That lawsuit is going to go beyond just $279,000 that they're owed, because there's going to be attorney's fees mixed in. There might be interest from loans that they had to take out to pay their people to do the job. And so there may be that to pay back as well. There's a lot of money on the line. That lawsuit can go up to $500,000 or more. So I hope the insurance company for the HOA and all those homeowners are prepared with a settlement amount for that construction company. They should have never entered this contract if they hadn't had the money already up front. And most of the time, you have to understand, and this is why when you're buying a house, you have to understand, or a condo with the HOA, you have to understand what could possibly be coming up as an assessment. And if they just did an assessment to fix the foundation, the roof, is really important to understand how well maintained the houses are in that community. I have some final thoughts. When you buy a home that has an HOA, you have what's called CCs and Rs, covenants, conditions, and restrictions. That CCR contract is a document that's legally binding, which binds you to actually pay your HOA fees. Miss those fees, and the HOA has the legal right to put a lien on your property. That lien is a legal claim against your home that you can't refinance, can't sell, and they can foreclose on you if you have those payments that are outstanding. Now, the process varies by state and how HOAs can do this, but here's the general sequence. Step 1, you fall behind on your dues. Step 2, the HOA sends you a notice or claims that they sent you a notice. Step 3, they record a legal basis to file a lien on your property. Step 4, if you still don't pay, they can file for foreclosure. Step 5, your house goes up for auction. Let's talk about something that takes us from alarming to 5-alarm fire. HOAs have what's called super lien priority status, which means that their liens can go even before the bank themselves. Now, whenever you have a mortgage, the bank automatically puts a lien on your home, which means if you default on your mortgage, they can foreclose on you. They can force a sale of your home to recover some of the money that they lent you for the mortgage. That's what happens. They collateralize the loan that you have in the form of a mortgage, the bank, and they do that against your home by filing a lien. So they already have first lien priority once you take out a mortgage, which is why they can force a foreclosure to get their money back. However, HOAs can jump the line even to the mortgage company because they have super lien status, and they can even jump ahead to get their money before the bank is theirs. There are about 20 states where HOAs have super lien status. I'm not going to list them right here, but some of the states that have it include Nevada, Tennessee, Colorado, and there's a mixture of what they can do within a certain period of time and how long it takes them to actually activate the super lien status, how much time they have to put your house in foreclosure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And in some cases, in some states, even though they have super lien status, they'd still give you an option to cure whatever the issue is, meaning the right to actually pay all your back due fines before they even get to foreclosure, to give you some time before they can just sell your house. But I want to be real with you for a minute because I want to give you a strategy if you're in an HOA right now. I don't want you panicking. That actually might be helpful for you. There's 7 ways that you can protect yourself from HOAs grabbing your home, foreclosing on it, and forcing you, if you're past due on your bills, to pay them the HOA fees. Step 1, know your state's HOA laws. Every state is different. Just because I told you that there's super lien status in 20 states, it does not mean that all those 20 states, even though they may grant super lien status to HOAs, don't have some provisions, some what's called cure provisions in the law where you have the ability to satisfy whatever the breach was in that agreement. Step 2, read your CC&Rs. You have to read that document. If you purchase in a community or a condo or a home that has an HOA, you need to read your CC&Rs and make sure that you know what they talk about. One of the benefits of having AI being supercharged across the board is you can take those CC&Rs and you can upload it to AR and actually ask it, let me know anything that could cause a default or force the sale of my home, and then let it either Grok or Claude or ChatGPT spit out for you the answer to that query. You could also obviously go see a lawyer, and then your lawyer can tell you. Typically, when you're buying a property, you have real estate attorney. They should also be able to tell you, make sure you ask that question. This is the CC&R document. Step 3, keep every single payment record that you have wherever you've paid your HOA fees, whether that's a screenshot of you paying the dues, a copy of a canceled check, a bank statement, however you've made that payment. If there's a receipt of that payment, you need to save it so that you can use it for evidence later in case you have to actually verify the dues that you paid. Remember, it's just humans on the other side. Humans make a mistake. And there's been many times when HOAs were wrong about fees owed. And the way to prevent that from the beginning is to have a good record and a clean record that you can actually show in court or to whoever the treasury or the accounting function is at your HOA. Step 4, make sure you open everything from your HOA. You may think it's an invitation to this or that, or it may seem to you to be trivial, but if you open everything that comes from your HOA, in a lot of cases, they actually email you. So make sure that you open it to see exactly what they're saying to you so that you're not skipping over something. Maybe they drove by your house and gave you a no-no slip because you had grass 2 inches too long or whatever the case is, or you put your trash cans out. Just make sure that you read the documents, emails, and communications that come from your HOA. Step 5, contact an attorney as soon as you get a lien notice. You don't want too much time to pass between the time that you contact an attorney and the time that you actually have received the lien notice from the HOA, because they're already started the process before they gave you that notice, which means that they're already days, weeks, or months ahead of you. You want to catch up as soon as possible. Step 6, get involved with your HOA board. Run for the HOA board. Get involved, because if you're involved, maybe you become the president, you can make their rules less harsh. And I'm not saying that there are rules that shouldn't be followed, because that's what brings everybody's property values up. But the onerous stuff that really frustrates people and the stuff that you hate yourself, no doubt somebody else hates it too. Get involved, become the president, get on the board, become influential, and you might be able to make a change that's actually beneficial to everybody in the community. In step 7, if you're behind on your HOA dues, start contacting your HOA and resolving the situation immediately. Don't wait. Don't just sit there and roll over and wait for them to take some kind of action, which is going to cost you more money in the long run. Try to resolve it one-to-one before you even get to the stage where there's legal and financial processes that come into play, because that might cost you way more time and way more money than you want to pay. Listen, now you know how to protect yourself. You know what happens when the HOA comes calling. You know how to defend yourself. I gave you those 7 steps. If you learned something in this video that you didn't know before, make sure that you like this video. Share your story in the comments. I want to hear your HOA horror stories, because one of the things I love about this community of Common Sense Crew, you, the real ones that come out and watch my videos, are that you actually engage with my videos. I want to hear your comments in the comment section, or the HOA horror stories that you've heard. Have you yourself had an interaction with the HOA? Have you been able to overcome some of the pressures put on you by the HOA? Let me know in the comment section. I look forward to the next video. And don't forget, if you want to go deeper, go and study your HOA laws, become an expert in how you can defend yourself against the sometimes tyrannical boards of the HOA. I'm Micah, and until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.